Hello, it's Mandy here from ISTech. Your school purchased our data protection training for schools back in 2018, and I wanted to show you personally what's changed in our new and rebuilt course. We've created this new course because, of course, the world has changed dramatically since GDPR was launched in 2018. New legislation, rapidly developing new technology, bringing new risks. And so we've completely rebuilt our course to account for this. And the reason why it's a good idea at this point to refresh the training, I would say, are three main reasons. The first is staff turnover. So many of the staff who did do the initial training will have moved on now, and many of your current staff will never have received formal GDPR and data protection training. Also, we've had clearly a massive world change in terms of artificial intelligence, most of which did not exist in schools when the initial training was given. And lastly, there are updates and developments to the data protection laws. Things such as the Data Use and Access Act of 2025 came into force on the 23rd of June 2026, which has introduced various changes and additional requirement for schools. So this isn't just about compliance, it's making sure that your staff understand the risks and responsibilities they specifically face today. And the kinds of changes then that have happened since this initial 2018 training are things like COVID and the way that it brought things such as remote working, children working from home, and all of the data protection implications there. The 2013 Cloud First policy that says schools must generally have cloud-based options, which of course has its own implications. And then the whole ChatGPT, AI assistance, everything AI related brings its own difficulties and issues with cybersecurity. In terms of what's changed in the actual data protection law, the core principles of course remain unchanged, but there are some developments, some areas of additional information and requirement. And so, for example, subject access requests, there is additional guidance now for that. Complaint handling has new expectations. There is a new legitimate interest as one of the lawful bases that schools are making use of. There's greater flexibility around automated decision making, but accountability has become far more important and required, and governance remains critical. So in terms of the course, I'd say the two biggest things that have changed, the first of these is the AI topic that we cover. And this wasn't in our 2018 course at all. And I guess the AI aspect is perhaps one of the biggest reasons why schools should consider refreshing their data protection training. But we offer practical guidance then for school staff for the use of things such as ChatGPT, AI lesson and assessment tools, and we discuss in various modules the importance of human oversight and the recognition of data protection risks in any of the forms of AI. And then secondly, we recognise that cybersecurity and data protection are very closely connected, and that many of the GDPR and data protection incidents in schools do actually now begin with cybersecurity incidents. And so common school risks are things such as the phishing emails where they look legitimate and people will click on links that take them to bad places. Obviously the use of ransomware and malware, but also passwords compromise where people one way or another give up the information, and also the use of social engineering. So on this course we're looking to give practical guidance on how to recognise some of these cybersecurity risks. And the way we've gone about this is essentially we've rebuilt the course from the ground up rather than trying to change the original. And so the new course then has, as I say, information and modules based around AI. We've got modules on the subject access requests and what's different about that and how to approach them, modules on cybersecurity. And the main thing, I guess, with it is it's a modern design. We use practical, up-to-date 2026 examples with all of the updated legislation. And this new course then reflects the reality of data protection in schools in 2026. And this course is ideal really for whole school data protection training. It's equally important for new staff or existing staff who did the training some point. And it's important for governance assurance and compliance evidence. It's actually one of the simplest ways that you can demonstrate accountability and reduce risk by showing that your staff have had up-to-date training. So thank you for taking the time just to watch this through. If you'd actually like to take a look at the new course itself, there is a link to an excerpt just here. It's also on the email that you've been sent. So it's a little section on security and security breaches. Simply click the link and you'll be able to take a look. So if you are interested in updating your training, please do get in touch as the email recommends, and I hope to see you again. Goodbye.